Wayne, remind people how long you've been involved in the Touchdown Club.
I think about 38 years now. Since 1981, I believe if that's 19 plus 19, it'll be about 38 years.
Do you remember why y'all started this?
Yeah, Ike Brissy and I, we were talking one night about how great the Greenville Touchdown Club was, and we thought, well, why can't we do this in Anderson? We were sitting around one Saturday night and having a pizza and a couple of beverages and talked about it and decided Ike was at the Chamber at the time, so we decided to start it and run it through the Chamber of Commerce. And it ran through the Chamber for several years, then we finally took it outside the Chamber and kept it going.
And the Anderson Club kind of outshines all the rest of them now.
Oh yeah, Anderson Club may be the best in the state now. Of course, Bill Brissy's done a great job continuing it and keeping it going. So he gets a lot of credit for continuing that legacy.
Why do you think it's important to these players and coaches that y'all do this?
Well, the players love it. They've always loved it ever since we started it. The fans, or local high school fans, they like to see the guys get the awards and things every week, and of course at the end of the year. And it just brings out a lot of enthusiasm for high school football.
Ever since I got out of coaching and all, and I kind of do whatever they ask me to do.
Why do you think it's important for the community to have an organization like this?
Well, somebody's got to say something good about these kids. We say something bad about these kids when we have a group of kids that do well. I think they should be honored, and since this is Anderson County Touchdown Club, I think all the people involved in this thing do a tremendous job, and it means a lot to these children in here. And that's, well, you can take a look at the meetings; they're full, and it really doesn't matter who's speaking. And this thing tonight, it's a little later this year, but we're going to have a full house. People care, and for kids that do real good, not necessarily bona fide All-American or something, but have excelled at their schools, it's good for them.
And football's really improved in Anderson County.
Well, by leaps and bounds, of course. In District 5, we give them everything they need. They better win.
And the Touchdown Club, too, is old Anderson. There's people who've been around a long time.
Oh, yes.
You see a little bit of who's who of Anderson if you go to Touchdown
you
Club.
started with Dwayne Loftus, and Ike Brissy started, years ago, back in the 80s. And they've worked hard at it, and it's evolved. Bill Brissy really works hard. You got Coach Frazier, Wade and Jones. It's just a group of 10, Cobb Oxford, Donnie Nix. There's a lot that put a lot into it. And of course, Nancy Smith. Without Nancy Smith, we'd be up the creek without paddles.
Well, it is a special year. We try to do something. Of course, the main thrust of it is to give the high school awards every year. And of course, we've got a great bunch that be receiving high school awards, and it's about over 1,700 that we've given out since our club has been organized. And of course, one of the big things, I think, is what we got here tonight. We got, all these Clemson boys that'll be in here, and people are real enthused about that. And the Anderson County Council is giving them a proclamation and be giving them an award. So that's going to be a real good thing. And I think we got a good turnout on Monday night. We had a lot of things that were competing with us, but with everything that was going on and all the we've got a really good crowd here tonight. I think people really enjoy it. And of course, it's kind of a historical moment. We got Perry Tuttle and Hunter Renfro, both of them appearing on the Sports Illustrated magazine, the years that they won the national championship. And I don't know whether there's ever been a meeting where you had those two people together or not. And so we're really enthused about that. And of course, Kendall Joseph is here to receive the award, and we got other people that'll be receiving awards. But I've been so enthused about trying to get it done because we're running late, running out, and there's so much going on. There's just so much at this time of the year. But I appreciate you being here, and of course, Nancy Smith, our longtime secretary, or actually office manager, has really worked like the dickens to put this thing on, and we're really pleased that we've got the crowd that we've got here tonight.
Anderson County football's gotten a lot better since the club started, hasn't it?
Well, I think football everywhere has gotten better. We hope we had something to do with it, but I'm not sure about that because football today, you play football all year round. If you're a football player, you're working out at school, you've got gym classes that you're lifting weights, and it's a totally different thing than when I coached. We coached 2 or 3 sports at that time, and kids played 2 or 3 sports, but today it's hard to do that. Sometimes you'll find 2 sports, maybe that they can play, but it's difficult to do that. They're either football or baseball or basketball or track. They do one or the other. They most of the time train year round. Soccer's becoming a big sport. It's taken over a lot of those football boys that we used to have. But I'm so pleased that the people have turned out for this tonight like they have, and I appreciate you being here, always helping us out in our public.
All right, now for the proclamation that County Council is going to present, let's get our County Council Chairman Tommy Dunn up here, and Honorable Brett Sanders, and also Craig Wooten. If y'all would come up, and Kendall Joseph and Darren Richard, you'll come up as well.
George, it's wonderful to be here tonight. My name is Craig Wooten with Anderson County Council, and we want to make a proclamation to commend and honor Kendall Joseph for his personal achievements, and to specifically congratulate Kendall Joseph as a member of the 2016 and 2018 Clemson Tigers National Champions. This is a little bit lengthy, but bear with me because this guy has garnered many accolades. Whereas the Anderson County Council considers it a privilege to recognize those who have excelled in particular areas of personal achievement and have distinguished themselves as leaders academically and athletically. The Anderson County Council strives to encourage initiatives, activities, and programs that foster leadership, citizenship, and life skills, which often are facilitated through our local education and sports programs. Whereas Kendall Joseph is a graduate of Belton Cunningham High School, and he is a multi-sport athlete. Before arriving at Clemson, Kendall Joseph ranked 18th inside linebacker in the nation by ESPN, ranked 17th player in South Carolina by 247 Sports, selected for Shrine Bowl, and 3-time state weightlifting champion. And whereas Kendall Joseph began his time with the Clemson Tigers football as a redshirt freshman in 2014, Kendall Joseph demonstrated dependability, leadership, and his desire for team success, giving way to his teammates, naming Kendall as permanent team captain. And whereas Kendall Joseph completed his college career playing at Clemson 48 games with 40 starts, received various accolades for his athletic abilities, receiving team awards, nominated as NSCA Strength All-American 2018 rankings, and as 57th player in the nation by Sports Illustrated and 99th player by NFL.com. Whereas this county council wishes to congratulate Kendall Joseph on his remarkable high school and college athletic career, and the county council and the residents of Anderson County are pleased to acknowledge and congratulate Kendall Joseph for his achievement as a 2017 Clemson graduate with a degree in health science, for his outstanding career on the field and as a dependable and selfless teammate and champion. Let it be proclaimed by the Anderson County Council that we commend Kendall Joseph on his achievements, both academically and athletically, for exemplifying the youth of our community. On behalf of me and the Anderson County Council, we really appreciate it, being a leader in this community. Thank you, sir.
Hello, everyone. I'm Brett Sanders with the Anderson County Council, District 4, and we would like, this proclamation is to recognize and honor Darian Richard for his personal achievements and as a member of the 2016 and 18 Clemson Tigers National Champions. Whereas the Anderson County Council considers it a privilege to recognize those who have excelled in particular areas of personal achievement, especially the youth of Anderson County. And the County Council considers it an honor to recognize its young athletes who have distinguished themselves as leaders academically and athletically. Darian Reacher is a graduate of T.L. Hanna High School, earning his letter in football for the T.L. Hanna Yellow Jackets. Darian is currently a junior at Clemson majoring in elementary education. Darian has followed his father's path to Clemson athletics. Darian's dad, Darwin Reacher, lettered in Clemson track and field and still 6th in Tiger history for outdoor long jump. Darian Reacher is a walk-on player in the Clemson Tigers football program, and he has reached 10 has recorded 10 career games with 24 carries thus far in his Clemson career. The Anderson County Council wishes to congratulate Darian Richard for his academic achievements and his remarkable athletic career. It is hereby proclaimed by the Anderson County Council. The Anderson County Council commends and congratulates Darian Richard on his personal achievements both academically, athletically, and for representing the youth of our community by bringing the honor not only to himself, his family, T.L. Hannah, but to Anderson County. We, the Anderson County Council, are proud of your outstanding representation of your community and wish you well as you continue to pursue your degree and athletic dreams at Clemson University. Proclaiming this the 8th day of April 2019. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys. Great years for many of you. Our offensive player of the year comes from Red High School. He is Tyrell Jackson. He's a quarterback, 6'2" tall, 205 pounds, a senior. Tyrell threw 475 times, completing 281 passes for 4,014 yards and 45 touchdowns. Seriously. He rushed 404 times for 5 touchdowns, so totally 4,418 yards and 50 touchdowns, which ranks him in the top 10 in the state, and he was on the way to a record at one time. For his career, he has completed 483 passes for 6,331 yards and 58 touchdowns. He has ran 883 yards and 18 touchdowns. How many? Almost 58 and 18, man. You got to know that.
15 what?
58 and 18. Oh, that's close. He was all region 2 years in a row. He was the region offensive player of the year. He is all area, all state 4A, the upstate back of the year, offensive player of the year by the High School Sports Report. He is a Worcester football finalist. He was the captain of the team. He was the starting quarterback in the Touchstone Energy North-South game. And incidentally, the Anderson Touchdown Club in the 2 prestigious All-Star games for South Carolina, one being the Slide Bowl, one being the North-South game. Both starting quarterbacks were in this Anderson Touchdown Club. Quite an honor. He is going on scholarship to ASA in Brooklyn, New York, from Red High School, and with all family and friends of Tyrell as he comes forward. Stand up, please, as we present him himself. Come up here, Tyrell Jackson. Our defensive player of the year, defensive player of the year is Zach Pickens. He is a Hannah senior. He is 6'5", 285 pounds. He is a defensive end, a running back, and also on special teams. For the year, 74 tackles, 15 for loss, and 6 sacks. An interception, a fumble recovery, and a return interception for a touchdown. He also rushed for 900 yards with 22 touchdowns. For his career, 247 tackles, 47 for loss, and 23 sacks. He was a 4-year starter. He was All-State 3 times, All-Region 4 times. He was South Carolina Mr. Football. Another note, in this club we've got one of the 5 finalists in Tyrell and the winner of Mr. Football, which is the most prestigious award given to high school football player in South Carolina from this club. Also, Zach was the South Carolina Gatorade Player of the Year. He was ranked the #1 player in South Carolina, the 10th best prospect in these United States. He was an Under Armour All-American. He played in the Under Armour All-American game. He played in the Shrine Bowl and was the most valuable defensive player. He's had over 50 Division I scholarship offers, and he got the ultimate accolades from Coach Heron, who said he is not only a great player, but an ultimate team player whose stats doesn't mean anything to him. He is now enrolled at the University of South Carolina. He was unable to come today. Offensive lineman comes from Tuttle High School. He's Clay Martin. He's 5'10", 190-pound senior. He graded out at over 90% as a 3-year starter for the Dogs. He played every offensive line position on the football team. He was a leader of the offensive line that made a transition from run blocking, firing out to a spread team. He was all-region 2 times. He is a youth elder at First Presbyterian Church. He was on the committee that had his first Sunday that started feeding over 200 homeless people per month. He has made 4 mission trips to South. Clay has over a 4.9 GPA, and he is 8th in his class of 180. And by the way, he also found time to be the student body president of the Clemson Bulldogs, and Clay proposes to go to Clemson. Clay Martin, come up here. Danny, you probably bummed some sausage off the Martin farm people. Our defensive lineman of the year comes from Milton Honeyfair. It's Tyshik Galloway, 6'3" tall, 310 pounds. Plays a little offense, but mostly defense. At 59 total tackles. He had 7 tackles for loss, 6 sacks, and 2 caused fumbles. He had 6 tackles in the Shrine Bowl, which was second, and there's another accolade for the touchdown. Zach Pickens was the leading tackler. Tyshik was second to him in the Shrine Bowl, the most prestigious all-star game in the nation. He is all-region. He also plays basketball and track. For his career, he has 155 total tackles, 18 for losses, and 12 sacks. And Tyshik is going to go across the country to Coffeyville, Kansas, to play his football. From BHP, Tyshik Galloway.
Congratulations, all you guys. Great job as usual, Coach Frazier. The fellow we got standing up here doing the presentations is, if you don't recognize him, is Dickie Smith. We thought to have him up here to have his picture taken with these guys would really make these guys look a lot better. Okay, now to present our Coach of the Year, Coach Wayne Jones. Come on up, Coach.
As history has it, General Heron came marching through Georgia for 27 years, burning opponents and winning a bunch of games, including 5 state championships at 3 different places. So he decided he'd cross the Savannah River and go over and test out those generals in South Carolina. As his 2 years of being general in South Carolina, he's won back-to-back region champs, undefeated both years. He has won, my math here, 25-2, and made it to the state championship this year. So the challenge is there. The generals are out there. But you got to watch for General Herod, because he certainly has a great record, and he's a great guy. Small guy carrying a big stick. Coach of the year, Coach Jeff Herod.
Congratulations, Coach. Okay, for our Scholastic Award, one of our founding fathers, Dwayne Loftus, come on up to the podium.
I'm glad his lights aren't so bright up here so it doesn't shine on my bald head. You know, every year they decide who's going to give this Scholastic Award, and at the board meeting they always talk about it and decide who's the smartest person on the board to give the Scholastic Award, so that's when I always get to give it. We couldn't let Coach Frazier give it. He could spell oak, but he gave me these notes and he couldn't spell Scholastic. Okay, our Scholastic winner this year excelled not only in the classroom but also on the football field. Alex Meredith is a 6 foot, 180-pound senior quarterback at Teal Hannah. He succeeded, as I said, both in the classroom and on the field. He was a 4-year starter at Hannah, playing quarterback all 4 years. He led Hannah to 39 victories while he was there, 2 region championships, and an upper state championship. In his career, he passed for 6,736 yards and rushed for 1,799 yards, for a total of 8,535 yards. He accounted for 99 touchdowns, which is second in the state, only behind a guy named Marcus Lattimore. This year, he completed 74% of his passes for over 1,000 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 1 interception. In the classroom, he had a 3.96 GPA. He'll be graduating this year, and he'll be going to West Point. And he was also played in the Shrine Bowl, where he was named captain and starting quarterback in the Shrine Bowl. Okay, Alex Meredith, please come up.
Barry said keep it short. Well, they a whole heck of a lot I can tell you about old Barry Tuttle. He played back when we didn't throw the ball very much, but he was an outstanding receiver. But I want to first of all congratulate the Touchdown Club. It's if you started in '81, there's not many of these clubs still going. I still have an opportunity to go around and speak to several of them. And Anderson is one of the best ones that we have, not only in the state, but in the Southeast. So it's an honor to be here, to be associated with you. It is great that you honor these young men. The little plaques that they got tonight are the nice plaques they will cherish and hold on for the rest of their lives. And their children and grandchildren will look up to them and say Pop or Pawpaw or whatever they want to call you later on that didn't know you played ball, you know. Sort of like when they look at Hunter Renfro, they think he plays football. But he did a great job, as all these Clemson guys did. I want to congratulate Clemson and all their players, and for doing what you have done. You've been just a magnificent. Ooh, spell that for me, Frazier. You have done a real good job over the past several years. It's great to see Clemson's name out there. You Gamecocks, y'all hang in there. Y'all may get there before I die. I doubt it. There's an opportunity there for you. And the high school coaches in this state, they're just great. When you go out and travel over the whole country and coach in different parts of the country, and you see how some guys have got more of an advantage than others to win in high school because you can't recruit. The kind of job that these upstate coaches do it all over the state of South Carolina is just tremendous. So now, let me introduce Perry Tuttle to you. Perry was on the Sports Illustrated, which you saw, and on that touchdown pass, the way I recollect it now, this is what they told me. I thought we called a run, and they were in the huddle, and they happened to be in man coverage, I think is the way they say, Perry. Homer looked over there, and Homer couldn't talk. He could just smile. You could see his teeth about it. He had the biggest smile on him, and he was very polite, very quiet. And so Perry was out there with man coverage on him, and they nodded to each other. And they decided to throw a fade. And they completed the pass. If they had not completed the pass, you would have never heard of Perry Tuttle. He would absolutely be in the grave. And Lord Homer, I don't know where he would have been, but what I can say the very best, that Perry was an outstanding player. He could play now, and they have great players now, but he could play now. A lot of ability. But the best thing about Perry is the kind of man he is. He's represented himself, his family, his Clemson University, his children, wife, parents, in a great fashion. He's got more children than he had touchdowns when he was at Clemson. He's had 6 children, and he's a great, great father. He's the only one of my players. This is what I will all take to my grave. He's the only one of my players that after he got a contract to play pro football, he took his head coach and his assistant coach out for supper. And that's big. It's really big for me. But I mean, when you have a guy that says, I would like to repay you, of course we ain't at McDonald's. But no, we didn't. Great man. He said he's going to keep it short. Ball game starts at 9:12, 9:15, I think. And we got through all them poor asses by them people up here a while ago at City Council. And we got by Frazier. But now you're going to hear a real speaker. Let me introduce you to Perry Tuttle.
Thanks, Coach. He means a lot to me. And I won't talk about you tonight, but he means a lot to me. I want to thank the Anderson Touchdown Club for inviting me to come and speak and be with you. This year, over the years, I've done a number of speaking engagements, corporate. I have 3 commencement speeches coming up this year I'm really jacked up about, but I love talking sports and I love being around coaches. I want to thank the coaches, the high school coaches, and they mean a whole lot to me. I had a chance to, last year, to speak to 500 North Carolina head coaches, basketball, football, and talked about the impact that coaches have. And so congratulations to the Clemson players. It's always good to be around them. It's amazing to me. All those years have gone by. I came to Clemson many years ago, youngest of 7 children, outside of Winston-Salem. Coach Buddy King was the coach that came and gave me a chance to come to Clemson. And I still have a good relationship with Coach King, but I remember walking on campus and didn't really know much. But Clemson really means a whole lot to me. And there always comes a time, there's always a pivotal time in all of our lives, and especially as a football player. I just remember our coach, my 4th grade coach, Coach Pete Chitty. Like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, that was his name. we had to call him Coach Pete because his last name is too close to a cuss word. So it was Coach Pete was the one that, he was the first one that really spoke life into me. And so when I was the most hungry for an affirmation, Coach Pete was taking me home from practice one day and told me one day, Gary, that you were going to play in the National Football League. First time anybody's ever spoken into my life, and it was a very pivotal moment. And I just want you to know, just hearing Coach Ford speak, is words matters to me, and because words matters to me, he matters to me. So with all that being said, I want to congratulate the players, the high school players. Don't forget this night. Don't forget this year. My son Canyon is graduating from Clemson next month. What a thing has gone by fast. So proud of him. So high school players, don't forget. Had a chance to, I've known Hunter for a long time. I've known his dad. And I don't know if I've ever shared with Hunter what it means to represent Clemson. From this day forward, you've found out in the last couple of years that you no longer represent you. And it's, no one's get any bigger than the Tiger Paw. And that I know that you're going to do well by representing, being a great ambassador for Clemson. And it's probably, other than my faith, other than my bride, I don't know if I ever loved a group of people like I love Clemson family. So I just want you to know that I'm proud of you. I've known your dad for a long time. So there's this thing about Clemson that I just love. And so with all of that being said, I want to share some things talk about a pivotal moment, just like the 4th grade for me. I remember my 4th year in the NFL. For everything that said the TV said it was going to make me happy, I bought. Ever since the 4th grade, I've always dreamed of being famous. I've always dreamed of maybe one day, because of Coach Pete said one day you're going to play in the National Football League, I had this dream. I remember just laying in my bed at Clemson at night. My college roommate was Jeff Davis, and I would lay on the bed and I would take the football and I would toss it up to the ceiling. And every night I tried to catch it 100 times. I had a little lamp, they call it a desk lamp, and I turned that desk lamp off. And I started catching that ball. I started tossing that ball up in the dark. The first time I tried to do it in the dark, the ball would hit me upside the head. But I got to the point where I turned out the lights and I would catch the ball in the dark. It's just, I mean, that's how bad I wanted it. I could smell the football. I figured, like Coach said, we didn't throw it much at all. But I figured if you can catch it in the dark, you can catch it in a game. And so I've had the opportunity of catching some big passes, but those pivotal moments, right? And so, I remember those times. And, just recently, and by the way, I need to share this with you, only because it's stuck in my head. I was volunteering for at a homeless shelter. And my job was to take this big spoon and do the potato salad. That's my job. A number of Panther players and retired guys, and here I am. My job is to do the potato salad, but you had to keep the line moving, so don't get into any kind of conversation. And so here we go. And then there's a guy that comes, and he steps in front of me, he had his beard on, kind of heavy set, and he looks at me and he says, "Hey, Gary, you know who I am? You remember me?" And I remember, you ever just met someone and you kind of know their names, but you just can't think of it. You're just kind of fishing for something. That's what happened to me. And here's this guy with his beard, and I recognized his face. I just couldn't come up with his name. And, you know, my deal was, here's my potato salad, here you go, keep the line moving. And I said, man, and he says, what's my name? I hate that question when you can't come up with someone's name. And I said, hey, why don't you do this? Hey, I'm gonna come back and visit you. Just go to your table and I'm gonna keep the line moving. And I was trying to fish for his name, and when everybody's gone through it, when everybody has gone through the line, I went to his table and I was still didn't know his name, and I found out who he was, someone that I've known well. He went through a hard time, and his wife picked up his 2 daughters and they went back to the West Coast, and he found himself homeless. But he asked the question, do you know me? You remember me? And guys, by the way, this is a part of not of my speech, but I want you guys to know, especially in high school, there are 100 questions that's coming from young people. And those young people are asking questions like, do you see me? What's my name? And what they're saying is this, do you know my purpose in life? I speak all over the country now. I speak to corporations, speak at universities, speak at functions like this. But the most powerful person in our society today, his name is Coach. Every coach I know has the most powerful influence than anybody in our society today, including the President of the United States, including pastors, including CEOs. Coaches make the difference. It made a difference when I was in the 4th grade. It made a difference when I was at Clemson. And so I want coaches to know that I think about you often, and I think about the influence of what could happen in our society. So with all of that, I just want to talk about pivotal moments. I think my first pivotal moment was when my first date with my bride back in the day. I was playing for Atlanta Falcons. We went on this first date. You talk about pivotal moments. My first date, she went and she asked me a question. We were at this jazz place called Dante's Down the Hatch. I love jazz, and so we were at this restaurant 4 years into the NFL, and she asked me this question, Perry, what books do you read? And I don't read books. You can tell by my grammar, I don't read books. And I said to her, I don't read books, and she made a statement that changed my life. That night, the first date, she has a master's in journalism, her undergrad in speech pathology. She says, Perry, she says, the person who doesn't read books is no better than the person who can't. And immediately, I thought about my brother who was Down syndrome. Eddie came to every single one of my games at Clemson. He looked funny. His eyes were always red. If you ever been around Down syndrome children, they were unpredictable, and Eddie was the extreme, and Eddie loved me. Eddie came to all of my games. He walked funny. He ran like the Tasmanian devil, but Eddie was my best friend. And when Loretta says, the person who doesn't read books is no better than the person who can't, that year I read over 100 books. I became this avid reader, and my life changed. A pivotal moment. So I say to athletes, read. I started real late. Coach Ford can attest to that. I started real late. That was a very pivotal moment. And so another pivotal moment was the summer before the 1981 team. It was a very pivotal moment where the starting defensive team and the starting offensive team decided to stay during the summer. You know, the last game before the 1981 season, 1980, we played the Gamecocks. I think they were ranked either 13th, 14th, maybe 18th, something. They were ranked pretty high with a Heisman Trophy winner. And we kind of knew going into that last game of the season that the rumors were flying. We kind of heard that Coach Ford may be out, but but a pivotal moment came when he brought out the orange breeches. And he gave us a reason, gave us a dream to play. We won that game. But during that summer, 22 starters decided to stay for the summer because we knew that we had something special. And in 1981, 12-0, the best time. What a great summer. It's a very pivotal moment. And so, you know, I can talk all day, but I won't do this. But I want to tell you about the most pivotal moment that has ever happened to me. And I want to share this with mostly athletes, you football players in high school. There's a place up in the mountains in North Carolina called Blowing Rock. And I invited 3 of my friends who know me the best. Guys who are older, guys who have families, guys who are husbands and dads. And I took them to lunch and I asked them this question. I gave them this picture over lunch. And I said to them, listen, imagine we're going to drive downtown Charlotte and you guys are on 77, Interstate 77. You guys are in one car. You guys are following me. And I want to take you guys to lunch. And so you guys are behind me. But there's a car in front of me. And I want to get in the left lane because the car in front of me is going pretty slow. So I put on my turn signal to get in the fast lane because I want to go faster. And because I've already checked the rearview mirror and I see you guys, I said I put my turn signal on, and you guys know that there's a car that's in my blind spot, and you guys started flashing your light, you started blowing the horn, and you started doing all these kind of things because you know that if I get in the left lane, I'm going to have a wreck. And so when I took them to lunch, I gave them that picture, and I said, guys, I want you to spend a whole weekend with me, and I want you guys to tell me my blind spot. Tell me my blind spot as a dad, and tell me my blind spot as a husband, and tell me my blind spot as a former teammate and as a businessman. I just want to spend time with those guys. And what I did not know, that was on Wednesday I took them to lunch. And on Thursday, the 3 of them got together and they called my wife. And they interviewed her. They called my children and they interviewed them. And they called some business people and they interviewed. And so when we got to Blowing Rock on a Friday, I thought it was going to be pretty fun. It was going to be really cool. And on Friday, they went into me and they told me. It was the hardest night I've ever had. One of them said to me, he said, Perry, he says that you know a lot of people and a lot of people know you, but you have the tendency to name drop. Stop name dropping. And they shared some things that's in my blind spot that I didn't know. But it was the toughest weekend. So on Saturday morning, it was a tough breakfast. And then on Saturday lunch and dinner, but on Sunday morning, those guys got together and put me back together. And they gave me a vision of who I am and how I can finish my race as a former guy, as a dad, and as a husband. And then just tell you, every single man, certainly football player, you're always going to have blind spot. So surround yourself with men, people who's going to tell you the truth about you. That's what a good coach would do. I had my 15-year-old son. He's a pretty good football player. He's a wide receiver. I mean, he's just like me, coach. He won't hit nobody. He's certainly not going to get hit. His best friend is the sideline. Right? But I was with him yesterday. We were coming. He was working out. 50 years old, can flat out run, can catch the rock. But I said to him, I said, Cambridge, this is yesterday. I said, Cambridge, do you like football? He says, Dad, you know I like football. I said, do you love football? He said, Dad, I love football. I said, son, this is the question that every coach is going to ask from this day forward. Now that you like football and now that you love football, the question that they want to know is, will you live football? Because those are the only players that they can count on in the fourth quarter. Will you live it? And you can make good grades and live it at the same time. So you got to dedicate it. If you want to play at the next level, you got to live it. So I'm going to wrap up by saying this, guys. Pivotal moment came. My college roommate is Jeff Davis. He's been my best friend for a long time, since high school. Coach Buddy King introduced us. He was from Greensboro. I was outside of Winston-Salem. In 11th grade, we had a chance to meet. But a very pivotal moment came my senior year. We were playing Maryland. It was for the ACC championship. And it was Parents' Day. My mom called me. My mom is 86 years old now, Coach. I told her that I was going to see you tonight. And she's an incredible woman. My mom is, if you can imagine what heaven looks like, that's my mom. Beautiful. Loves the Lord. But I remember my senior year at Clemson, my mom called me on Wednesday and she says, babe, I'm the youngest of 7, so she always called me babe. And she says, babe, your dad is going to come to the game. And I said, Mom, don't you bring Dad. Please. Don't bring Dad. He's going to be drunk, and you know it. Don't bring him. I begged her. Wednesday night, Thursday, Friday. Ever since I can remember, 4th grade, 3rd grade, 5th grade, always drunk, in and out of prison, always drunk. The most racist man I've ever met. Did not like white people at all. Only came one time, and that was Parents' Day. The Maryland game. How many of y'all know there's a lot of white folks at Clemson, right? My dad did not come. And he showed up. And I remember how nervous I was. It's like, because at halftime, we're going to do the walk. You know what I mean? And I was just so nervous that my dad was going to trip or fall and whatever. And sure enough, we lined up. And I could smell the alcohol. And so we walked on, no big thing happened. We get back to the sideline. But I had the chance to talk to my roommate, Jeff Davis, and Jeff said this: just be glad you have one. And that changed everything. So I want you to know that my dad passed away about 10 years ago, but other than my bride and other than my children, I don't know if I've ever loved a man like I loved my dad. My dad, before he died, gave his life to Jesus Christ. And started treating my mom like his queen. And again, other than my children, my dad and I talk every single day. My dad took my Canyon when he was 3 and 4 years old to a Clemson football game. My dad came to more Clemson games when I was gone than when I played. And I tell you guys this story is that there are going to be moments in Clemson, moments in your life as an athlete that you're going to remember, and most of them are not going to be the touchdowns. And so I know that I can come here and talk touchdown. This is a touchdown club. But I was driving down here and I thought about a speech that I wrote some time ago. These people know me. And I knew that Coach was going to be sitting up here, and I wanted to tell the truth. And the truth is, I'm just telling you guys as as a former guy, being on the cover of Sports Illustrated, I thought fame was going to be my friend. But fame tricks you, thinking that you're more than what you really are. And so with all of that, guys, I just, for you players, just realize that those coaches, they know a lot more than what you think they know.
Amen.
So I've been asking myself this question. What brings me joy? For the last 3 or 4 months, this burning question, I remember speaking at a university not too long ago, about 3 or 4 weeks ago at Southern Westland. I started asking myself this question, what brings me joy? Day after day, I kept asking this question, and what I found out was this. What brings me joy is when I give joy. What brings me joy is the gratitude in which God has granted me relationships like you guys, like Coach, Hunter. God has given me a great relationship like Jeff Davis, and certainly like my dad. Thank you guys, and thank you for inviting me. Appreciate it.
Okay, now, Nancy, come back up here. See, Nancy Smith, you wouldn't believe all the work she does behind the scenes to make this thing possible every week, and especially the year-end event here, and we've got a special gift for her that Bill has to give her.
Nancy, this program would not have been able to have it tonight had it not been for this lady right here. She's responsible for 90% of what we did to get this together. And I appreciate it so much, Nancy.
Let's give her a big round of applause.
Well, I mean, these are two guys who have accomplished so much and gone on to play at the university level and possibly play on Sunday, but most importantly, when you heard the accolades that they've garnered, it was athletic, it was community service, it was education, so just proud to have them in our community and wanted to recognize folks who achieved that level from Anderson.
Just wanted to show our thanks, and it's something like I told them earlier tonight, they made Anderson very proud. We want to let them know that, and like I said, it's not just their talent and athletics, it's what they do off the football field. Good citizens.
Yeah, these guys are future leaders, and it's good to see them involved and to inspire other people as well, the other youth. I was glad to be a part of it. I enjoyed it. Enjoyed Perry Tuttle's speech. Gets you a little emotional, fired up a little bit, but I think overall it's a great thing for the county, and it's creating new leaders.
I mean, it's awesome. Hometown kid. I just think it means a lot to see a lot of little guys I've watched grow up, be honored for their accomplishments on the field and off the field. And for me to come back, I mean, it's amazing. Like, I love where I'm from. I love the support I get, and I love just making people proud where I'm from. So it means a lot for me to even come back. Like, I made sure I was here. Just my old coaches, my old teammates. It means a lot to me.
You think county council is going to come out and congratulate you?
Yes, sir. Man, they show love every time that I've been in school and something big has happened. My first year, my redshirt year, we won the national championship in 2016. And they awarded all of us with keys to the city. So this year they gave us a proclamation. So it's just any way they can show support of our accomplishments and just do anything for the city.
All right, what's next for you?
Next for me, so going to my redshirt junior year next year. I got 2 more seasons to play, working my way up, and just continue to try to do what I'm doing, man, make a difference, add value to the team, make it use football, don't let it use me, and just make a difference in the community, make people proud, and ultimately give God a lot of glory.
What is it to be honored tonight by the county and by the Touchdown Club?
It's also a big honor for me. Just, Anderson County and Belton's always done a great job honoring me and just honoring me for my accomplishments and things like that. So to be out here and see all these folks tonight, whole high school coach as well as some of the players there.
Touchdown Club an important part of your coming up and playing and all that?
Yeah, well, I definitely remember in high school, and that was definitely one of my first accomplishments was, getting a touchdown player of the week, and that was huge. And yeah, I mean, it meant a lot to me back when I was in high school, and it was just a start, and you receiving something for that accomplishment.
How hard do you have to work now for the next step?
It's work is work, so it's really not a different work I've been doing, but it's just a different stage, so not really sure about what's going to happen next, but just taking it day by day and trying to be great. Oh, definitely, can't wait.
No sooner, right?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be here in a little less than 3 weeks, so yeah, I think I'm praying for it. Thank you, appreciate it.